This is a very poignant run for me. I recorded the Starmie footage a very long time ago, and it was my backup run in case I couldn't edit footage because of technical issues. But now the old overlay has reached the end of its life cycle, so we are finally going to see just how well this star player will do. And now as we get ready to start Starmie's run, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's popped in the last few streams. I really think the last couple of streams I have done have been some of the best we've ever had on the channel. And if you would like to see some of those streams, or maybe just get notified of whenever I upload, then please do think about clicking the subscribe button. Now we're going to be getting into a run that I can barely remember at this point. It's going to ostensibly be brand new for me as well. I have no clue what's coming up in this run because it was so long ago that I recorded it, and I am very excited to see just how well or how badly Starmie does. And we'll start off by having a little look at the stats of our Starmie. We are level 5 with 19 HP. We are holding a berry and our two moves are Tackle and Harden. We've got 9 in attack, 12 in defense, 12 in special attack, 10 in special defense, and we're nippy with 13 in speed. Let's now get the graphics up for one last time and get the run underway. And so the very first thing I've noticed is we don't have a special attack until level 7 and we're in the slow experience group, so this first battle might take a while. It's looking like it's going to be a 3-shot on the female Rattata to knock it out, and then we're going to head over to Mr. Pokemon's house. And while we're chatting with Mr. Pokemon, I just want to mention that the overlay isn't going to change that significantly. We've got what I think is a much more legible font for all the information on screen, and we also have things like dynamically updating move types for hidden power, and we also get to see returns power increase as the game goes on. So it's absolutely more evolution than revolution. It should all look very familiar, just with a new lick of paint. And I do love fiddling with the overlays. But now we are ready to take on the first rival battle. And it's at this point I will tell you I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Totodile with Staryu. There are no prizes for guessing why we replaced Totodile, they're both water types, and we are having a real struggle of a battle against this Chikorita. We are having a war of attrition. It was a very lucky critical hit to knock out the Chikorita, and we are finally through the first rival battle. Goodness me, as great as Starmie is as a Pokemon, this is going to be a slog as Staryu. We're not going to be able to evolve until well past Whitney, because the person who phones you about the Water Stone is all the way out near Mount Mortar. And now as we're heading up towards Violet City, we're going to take on youngster Joey and his Rattata, and it's against this Rattata we finally grow to level 7. We learn Water Gun and we have a stab special attack. Hopefully now we'll be able to inflict a lot more damage. Let's see how we get on against our first gym leader together. This is Falkner, the flying type specialist who leads with Pidgey. It's a 2-shot on the Pidgey with Water Gun, and that just leaves Pidgeotto left to go. It's looking like a 3 or 4 shot on the Pidgeotto as our berry kicks in. Gus takes us down to 8, but we knock it out. We obtain the Zephyr badge in a time of 6 minutes and 16 seconds. Of course, we haven't done Sprout Tower yet though, because poor old Staryu with its only 55 special defense, I think it would struggle quite a bit. But now we're making our way towards Azalea Town. We'll pick up the Paralyzed Cure Berry from the tree, and we're also going to pick up Swift from Union Cave. And we're going to teach Swift straight away. It makes sense to get rid of Tackle on our learn sets because that is a very poor base power move in comparison. And now we do have a physical normal move that will at the very least never miss. And now that we're in the Ilex Forest, we're going to grab our HM friends. First up today is Paris. Paris is going to be helping us out with Cut, with Flash, with Sweet Scent, and with Dig. And in honour of my very, very dear friend Lucas Plays, who has started doing challenge runs here on YouTube, I decided to give all of my HM friends nicknames. So we have We the Paris, and we're going to catch Psyduck, who is going to be helping us out with Surf, with Strength, with Whirlpool, and with Waterfall. And now with We and Nor adding a little bit of je ne sais quoi to the run, we're going to make our way into the second gym together. This is Bugsy's Bug-type gym. We'd be weak to it if we were Starmie, and he leads with Metapod. Metapod's going to be absolutely no threat, just hardening away, and the next Pokemon is Kakuna. Kakuna hardens as well, so it's all about us versus Scyther. Scyther is a very high base stat total Pokemon compared to our Staryu, but we get an awful lot of luck. We get a Fury Cutter miss, and we are able to knock it out in just a few hits, and we grow to level 17 and obtain the Hive badge in a time of 13 minutes and 52 seconds. Let's now make our way out of the gym and around the corner where the notorious Rival 2 is waiting for us. This battle has been the undoing of so many water-type Pokemon in the past. Let's see if Staryu can have a better run through it. We get off to a bad start, getting paralysed by Lick on our first attempt, but we don't get sent to sleep by Ghastly on our second attempt. So it's us against Bayleaf, we use Swift and barely tickle it. We get poisoned, Razor Leaf hits us very, very hard, and it's all over. We're gonna have to do the grind. I knew this was going to be coming up for Staryu, because there's absolutely no way we can get through at our current level. I grow to level 18 and let's give it another try now. I doubt we're going to get much further, but it's still worth a shot. So this is Rival 2 yet again, and he leads with Ghastly. It's still a 2-shot on the Ghastly, but Spice is absolutely meaningless. We still have 21 PP for the Bayleaf. Bayleaf's Poison Powder misses on turn 1, but we're still taking huge damage from Razor Leaf. We are going to have to get yet more levels, and being in the slow experience group, this is painful. And we're going to skip level 19, we're going to go all the way up to level 20, but at level 19 we learn Recover, and that's at least going to let us try and get some HP back. And now that we're at level 20, I will say for the third time, this is the second rival battle, and he leads with Ghastly. Ghastly's still level 12, thank goodness, and this time we get a critical hit one-shot, but it's all about the Bayleaf. Bayleaf really is going to be the thorn in our side. We get Razor Leaf, we get taken down to 12 HP, but we get some fantastic luck, as not only do we crit, his Razor Leaf misses, and that means we're able to take on the Zubat, knock it out in a couple of hits, and we are through Rival 2 in a time of 24:34. Goodness me, what a tricky rival battle. But now that we're through the rival, we can go into the Onyx Forest for the second time. We'll grab cuts from the Charcoal Maker, and we're also going to grab the charcoal from the Charcoal Maker's apprentice. I wonder why we could be doing that. And because Starmie's got too many points on it to headbutts, we'll go straight through the rest of the forest, and we'll catch our third HM friend. This one is Abra, who's going to be helping us out with Teleport. And with Abra safely caught for another run, we'll head into Goldenrod City proper and we'll go and pick up the bike. The bike's going to let us move in double quick time wherever we want to go, and even though we're not doing the new Kanto routing, the bike is now necessary in all of my Johto runs. We're going to grab Kenya from the guard at the gate on our way to the national park, and with that the band is together. We have all 4 HM friends. In the national park, we'll grab Dig and we'll teach it to Paris, and then we'll have a little chat with Floria, teleports back to Goldenrod City, and we'll make our way into our third gym together. This is Whitney, the normal type specialist, and she's gonna lead with Clefairy. So it's Staryu versus Clefairy, and Double Slap hits us a couple of times. We knock out the Clefairy on the second attempt, and we are on to Miltank. The cow instantly starts to roll, and we get a very lucky critical hit, but we get knocked out by Rollout, and we have no choice but to grind yet again. Staryu's relatively paltry defences are really letting us down, especially because we've only got Water Gun as a stab move. And so after grinding all the way up to level 23, we'll give Whitney another go. She still leads with Clefairy, it double slaps us but hits us 5 times, which is some atrocious luck, and we're already on half HP for the Miltank. This really is proving to be a very, very tough battle. I tried spamming Recover, but that just doesn't work. Rollout keeps on hitting us, and even with the Recover we get knocked out, and we're gonna have to try again. It's back onto the Clefairy, who keeps on double slapping us, and she metronomes Spark. And the awful luck continues. A couple of resets later, we get thunderbolted by that Clefairy, so we are back to square one yet again. Whitney is feeling more like Red at the moment. We just cannot get through her. Her Clefairy kicks our Staryu in the face, and we are back onto the Miltank. We get a very lucky critical hit. Rollout does us a favour and misses as well, and we finally knock out the cow. Goodness me, we lucked our way through that battle, but we did eventually get the plain badge in time of 33 minutes and 56 seconds. Let's get out of there before Whitney wants her badge back, because that was all RNG. And now we have cycled north all the way into Ecruteak City. Our first destination, of course, is going to be the Kimono Girls. And as always, I will show you the battle where we have the type weakness, and in this instance it was against Jolteon. We get down to 14 HP, was a little bit scary, but our reward for defeating all 5 Kimono Girls is the Surf HM, and goodness me, we're going to be teaching this to Staryu quick, sharp and in a hurry. It's goodbye to Water Gun, which is only base 40 power, and for the cost of just 10 PP, we have more than doubled our attacking power. And now that we've cycled through Mount Mortar, we're going to have a little chat with Fisher Tully. Fisher Tully has a Quillfish, which we don't have anything too great against. We get poisoned against it as well, because of course we do, because Poison Sting has a 100% chance to poison if the AI uses it, but we get his phone number, and that phone number is very, very important. That will give us access to the Water Stone, so we can finally get out of Staryu Purgatory and end up evolving. Before we get the Water Stone though, we're going to have a chat with the Hidden Power Man, and we're going to teach Hidden Power straight away. And our Hidden Power type today is Fire. That's the reason we picked up the Charcoal, and now with Hidden Power safely on our learn set, we're going to cycle all the way back to Newbark Town. At Newbark Town, we're going to have a chat with our mother, and she's going to change the clock for us because somehow we don't know how to do it. And after we change the clock a couple of times, we get a phone call from Fisher Tully, and that phone call is going to let us get a Water Stone. Now, we kept our teleport spot all the way at Ecruteak City, so it's a one-way journey on the bike, and then we can just teleport back for the last bit. And with Fisher Tully giving us a Water Stone, we can say goodbye once and for all to our Staryu, and we're going to get an absolutely lovely Starmie in its place. We get a huge buff to our base stats as a Starmie, and of course we gain the Psychic typing as well. But the counter to that is we only learn one more move via level up. That is at level 37 and it is Confuse Ray, so we'll see if we need that a little bit later on, but for now let's take on the third rival battle. And we have both had an upgrade, as Staryu vs Ghastly becomes Starmie vs Haunter. Starmie comes out on top and that brings us on to the Magnemite. Now I had real trouble deciding what order I wanted my moves to be in this run. I did eventually decide and we one-shot the Staryu, we one-shot Bayleaf as well, and that just leaves Zubat left to go. We knock that out in a single hit, and we are through Rival 3 in a much nicer time than Rival 2. We'll fall through the floor, we'll release the beasts, and we can start thinking about taking on our fourth gym together. This is going to be Morty's Ghost and Poison type Dual Spectacular. And Morty is a little bit of a downgrade on good old triple question mark, because Morty only leads with a Ghastly. So the Ghastly comes out and it's going to be an instant one-shot with Surf, and we are on to Haunter. This is the first of two Haunters and that goes away straight away. Out comes the Gengar and it's not quite a one-shot. He doesn't send us to sleep though, and that means we can knock out his final Haunter, and we can obtain the Fog Badge in a time of 45 minutes and 28 seconds. Goodness me, the difference that evolution has made. Starmie is going to have a lot of catching up to do, but at least we're now consistently one-shotting Pokemon. We're now going to make our way into Olivine City, we'll grab Strength from the man in the cafe, we'll teach that along with Surf to Psyduck, and we'll ascend the Lighthouse to have a little chance with our favourite liar. Jasmine's my favourite liar and Lance is my least favourite liar. We are getting to a point where most people in this game are mistruthful, and I have a ranking for each of them in my head. We'll make our way over to Cianwood City, we'll grab the potion from the dodgy shop, and then we'll make our way into Chuck's fighting type gym. He's our fifth gym leader together, and he's going to lead with Primeape. We Surf against the Primeape and we wash it away in one shot, and here comes a little bit of an issue, because we don't really have anything too effective for Poliwrath. Our in-battle attack is only 81 and Swift isn't that higher power move, but we luck our way through this battle against the Poliwrath, we knock it out on our first try. And now let's be generous to Starmie here and say we earned the Storm Badge in a time of 49 minutes and 39. We absolutely didn't earn that, we lucked our way through, but a win is a win I guess, so we'll chat with Chuck's wife and fly out of there before Chuck can have a whinge at us along with Whitney, and we'll make our way towards the angry Gyarados in the Lake of Rage. I tried both Surf and Swift against the Gyarados, and honestly both are equally as bad as each other. We get critical hit by Thrash though, and that knocks us out. It's been a very long time since we've had to take a reset against the Gyarados. We get much better luck on turn 2 though, surviving on a whole 15 HP. We obtain the red scale and we have a little chat with Lance the Liar, and I am pleased to inform you that nothing happened while we were talking to Lance. He gives us the Whirlpool HM, which we begrudgingly accept, and now we'll make our way into our 6th gym together. This is of course Price's Ice-type gym. He's an Ice-type specialist who leads with a pure Water-type Pokemon. He's another scam artist, and also his Piloswine I believe is under-leveled. Goodness me, what is going on with the scamming here in the Johto region? We do, however, grow up to level 37 against Price, and we get rid of Recover and place it with Confuse Ray. My logic is we want to be knocking things out quickly and in a hurry. A Recover means we're going to be stalling, and that's going to slow the timer right down. We get through Price without any major issues, and we obtain the Glacier Badge in a time of 55 minutes and 45 seconds. And so let's now leave the gym and make our way back to Olivine City. We're going to ascend the lighthouse once more and we're going to chat with Jasmine. We'll begrudgingly hand over the secret potion because she holds her gym badge at ransom. She very quickly leaves, but don't you worry, we're going to pursue her so that we can check her handbag. And while we're at it, we'll take her on in battle. We'll get some valuable information about Jasmine's cheating ring if we engage her in battle, but she mustn't know that we're doing this just to try and get some dirt on her. We one-shot both of her Magnemite and it's just about Starmie versus Steelix. We have a stab water type move, it's weak to water, we knock it out in one shot, and we get no information about Jasmine this time. We do however get the mineral badge in a time of 56 minutes and 46 seconds, and with that we can do our sweep around the Johto region, picking up bits and bobs that we may have missed. We'll start off with the rare candy outside of Sprout Tower. We'll complete Sprout Tower as well to get ourselves the Flash HM. We'll fly over to Cherry Grove City. In Cherry Grove, we're going to pick up the Mystic Water from the man on the very peculiar shaped island. And then we'll make our way into Azalea Town and into the Slowpoke Well. In Slowpoke Well, we're able to get the King's Rock from a lovely man with glasses. And we're also going to get Rain Dance. Rain Dance is going to boost our water type moves as well as nerfing Solar Beam. So that might come in handy a little bit later on. In the meantime, we'll go over to Goldenrod and grab the nuggets and the rare candy outside of the daycare. We'll teleport back and go into the top floor of the department store where we'll grab Return. And with that, we've grabbed everything that we need. So it's a quick cycle into the underground where the fourth rival battle is waiting for us. And this time he's going to lead with a very pesky Golbat. This Golbat has confused me on so many occasions, so I was very glad to wash it away. Out comes Magnemite and it has a bit of the same pong as Golbat, so we'll give that a wash as well. We decide to ignite the Sneasel because that just seems more fun. We'll carry on igniting Pokemon with our Pyromaniac ways, so we'll two-shot the Meganium, and then we'll go and give a Haunter a wash as well. And with that, we've defeated all of the rivals' Pokemon in the time of 1 hour, 4 minutes and 34 seconds. And now after giving many more Pokemon a wash up in the Radio Tower, we'll collect some rewards. We'll get the pink boat from Marie, and we're also going to grab the radio card from the lady at the desk. We'll fly back to Mahogany Town and start going eastwards towards the Ice Path. In the Ice Path, we'll grab the Waterfall HM, and we'll teach that to our Psyduck straight away. And the only other significant item we pick up here in the Ice Path is going to be the Nevermelt Ice. And that will give us a lovely 10% buff to any Ice-type moves that may end up on our Learn set. And in fact, we're going to be teaching one straight away. We're going to be using the Icy Wind TM that Price gave us, and we're going to be teaching it over Swift. So we're going purely special attacking, at least in the interim, and we'll see how this fares against our 8th gym leader together. This is Claire, the Dragon-type specialist who leads with Dragonair. In fact, she's got a whole 3 of them. And this battle demonstrates perfectly why I don't like Icy Wind and often pivot to Hidden Power Ice instead. That is a range against all of her Dragonair. Even with the Nevermelt Ice, it is still a range, and that is just not a good time. I like consistency in my runs, and Icy Wind barely tickles the Kingdra. But for some reason, Claire decides she doesn't want to attack us. I think she's taking pity on us after all those disastrous gym battles so far. She is just determined to lower our accuracy as much as possible. She'll use a Hyper Potion, but she just keeps spamming Smokescreen even though our accuracy is already at minimum. Eventually she tries to hit us with a Hyper Beam, but it's too little too late. We obtain the Rising Badge in a time of 1 hour, 14 minutes and 44 seconds. Honestly, I've no clue what went on with that battle. Somebody much smarter than I will probably know though, so please tell me in the comments down below if you know why Claire refused to attack us. It was very confusing, but we mustn't dwell, as we now have the 5th and final rival battle to take care of, and this time he's going to lead with that very flammable Sneasel. We get Sneasel hot under the collar and knock it out with Hidden Power Fire, and then we're going to melt the Magneton as well. That brings us on to Meganium, and we're going to use our Fire-type move for the 3rd time in a row, and we're going to two-shot it as a Reflect comes up. That Reflect is meaningless for us though, as we are purely special attacking. We give the Golbat another wash and then we drown the Haunter as well, and that brings us on to the last Kadabra. He decides he wants a bit of a swim as well, and we more than oblige, and that gets us through the last rival battle in a time of 1 hour, 19 minutes and 18 seconds. And with the rival defeated for another run, we can turn our attention to the Pokemon League. So the first thing we'll do is say thank you to our HM friends. Thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Psyduck, and of course merci to Paris. We'll buy our 4 full restores, which we'll either need or we won't for the league. And now, with no time to wait about, we're going to go straight into the league. This is our first league member. It's Will, a psychic type specialist just like us, and he leads with Xatu. We use Surf against the first Xatu and it's a one-shot, so he brings out Executor. Our best ice type move is still Icy Wind, and that's a two-shot on the Executor. But that brings us nicely onto his second Xatu. We use Icy Wind again, and this time it is a one-shot, thank goodness for that. And his penultimate Pokemon is Jinx. It's a two-shot against Jinx with Hidden Power, but unfortunately for us, she gave us a bit of a snog. That means she can slap us a few times while we're asleep, as well as hitting us with her psychic ways, but we survive on 68 HP for the Slowbro. Now this is going to be a war of attrition against this Slowbro because we have absolutely nothing great to hit it. All of our attacking moves are not very effective against the water type, but we will be able to remedy that as soon as we've defeated the league. And we're a quarter of the way there, defeating Will in a time of 1 hour 21 minutes and 8 seconds. Let's now move on to Koga. He's a poison type specialist who leads with Ariados. It's a one-shot with Hidden Power on the Ariados, and it's going to be a one-shot as well against the Fortress. He tries stalling us with Protect though, but it's no use for him, and he sends out Crobat. I go for the reliable Surf as opposed to the unreliable Icy Wind here, and we get him caught in a healing loop. 2 further Surfs later and it goes down, and that brings us on to Venomoth. Venomoth's got very good special defense, so it does survive a Hidden Power Fire. We got confused in the process, but it only lasted for a single turn, so we knock it out, and then the final Pokemon is Muck. It's 2 shots against the Muck with Surf as it minimalizes and poisons us, but that means we are through Koga in a time of 1:22:03. Let's move on to Bruno, the fighting type specialist who leads with Hitmontop. We use Surf against the Hitmontop and take it deep into the red. He goes underground, so we have to waste a turn, but another Surf knocks it out. Hitmonchan is next up, and yet again it's a 2-shot. Thunder Punch deals a little bit of damage, but Hitmonchan has no special attack. And out comes Machamp. I thought Machamp was going to be more of an issue than that, but Rock Slide barely tickled us. We 2-shot the Hitmonlee, taking a little bit of damage from a high jump kick, and then it's a very easy end to the battle as Onix is weak to water, and we knock it out in 1 shot. We're through Bruno in a time of 1:22:56, and we are on to Karen. Karen is the dark type specialist who leads with Scumbreon. We Uno reverse her to start off proceedings by confusing her Pokemon instead of the other way around. We 2-shot the Umbreon, and we are on to the Murkrow. Icy Wind's a 1-shot on the Murkrow, so we don't need to worry about that. And then we're able to 2-shot the Vileplume with Hidden Power. Unfortunately for us though, we do get paralysed in the process, and that means we're paralysed for her final 2 Pokemon. That gives Gengar a chance to swear at us, but we knock it out on our first turn, but then we get fully paralysed and the curse knocks us out. Back to square one against Karen. Goodness me, how frustrating that was on the final Pokemon as well. We managed to get a much better start against the Umbreon this time though, and we knock it out in 2 shots, taking no damage. We use Surf against the Murkrow this time just for safety, and that is a 1-shot. Vileplume comes out and we use Hidden Power yet again. Petal Dance is what it goes for this time though, and that's perfect for us because we need our speed. We are 178 in battle right now, which is actually faster than Red's Pikachu, and that means we outspeed the Houndoom. We knock it out in 1 shot and we are through Karen on our next attempt in a time of 1 hour 24 minutes and 27 seconds. And now, just before taking on Lance, we're going to say goodbye to Hidden Power Fire, and we're going to say hello to Return in its place. And with that, there's only one obstacle between us and the Hall of Fame. It's time for Lance, the Liar with the Flyers, who leads with Gyarados. Gyarados surfs us as we double return it to knock it out, and here comes the first of 3 Dragonite. Icy Wind is enough to 1-shot Dragonite number 1, so he sends out number 2, and thank goodness we didn't miss Icy Wind. We cannot be paralysed for the rest of this battle now, and that looks like it was a range on both of those 47s. Goodness me, what great luck we had there. We are through the level 50 though, and then there are just 2 Pokemon weak to Surf. I misclick against the Charizard, but that little bit of damage means absolutely nothing. The Aerodactyl is weak to water, as is Charizard. We knock it out, and we're through Lance on our first try in a time of 1 hour 25 minutes and 52 seconds. And our final lead time is 1 hour 26 minutes and 8 seconds. We had a bit of a rough ride starting with Staryu, but we are more than catching up now that we are a Starmie. And there are still another 8 gym badges plus the red fight left to come, so don't you dare go anywhere. Kanto is next. And we are back outside our home in Newbark Town where it all began, and Professor Elm's got a little present for us. He's going to give us the SS ticket because he wants us out of the country quick, sharp and in a hurry. We'll oblige, but only after we finish up what we need to do here in Johto. And of course, the first thing we'll do is retrieve our HM friends. So it's welcome back to Kenya, Abra Psyduck, and bienvenue à Paris. And with the HM friends safe in our party once more, we are going to go to Goldenrod City to spend all of our money. The move tutor's in town and he's got two moves that are going to be very handy for us. The first move is Ice Beam. That's going to be replacing Icy Wind, the quite frankly dismal ice type move we've had on our learn sets for a while. And the second one is going to be Thunderbolt. To afford Thunderbolt though, we had to sell some stuff in Goldenrod Pokemarts, but we somehow scrambled together the 80,000 Pokédollars we need for the coins, and Thunderbolt is going to be replacing Confuse Ray. And now with two of our three new moves on our learn set, we're going to cycle over to Mount Mortar and pick up the first of two rare candies remaining in the Johto region. The second is in the Whirl Islands, and with both of them safely tucked away in our bag, a hop, skip and a jump takes us over to Kanto. And the first thing we do in Kanto is the last thing we do in Johto. We're going to get another rare candy, this time from the chairman of the Pokemon Fan Club. And now that we have another one of our rare candies, we'll cycle into Saffron City and pick up TM29. TM29 is Psychic, and that's going to complete our learn set. We are going fully special from here on out, so our moves are Surf, Ice Beam, Thunderbolt and Psychic for the Kanto region, and I think the first gym leader we'll test it out against is Erica. Before we battle her though, we're going to grab the leftovers from the bin and the PP up from the bush, and then we'll make our way inside to find she's having a little bit of a snoozle. So we'll wake her up and engage her in battle as I tell you this is Erica. She's a grass type specialist who leads with Tangela. And now, while we're doing the Kanto Gauntlet, I just want to have a little chat with you about the future plans for the channel. Because this is our 64th main Johto run here, and that means in the course of just over a year we're already roughly halfway through the evolving Johto decks. And that means we're going to have to start doing a few different runs here and there. I'm really enjoying the backporting series that we're doing mostly as streams, but a couple of times a month we'll have a backport video to see just how well some of the more interesting modern Pokemon run in the game. I'm going to be adding the physical special split into the runs as well at some point, and then we'll see how Pokemon like Sneasel and Kingler fare when they're able to use their stronger physical attacking stats for stab. And conversely, it will give some of those special attackers with physical types a chance to show off their prowess as well. We have a new Pokémon Crystal series starting very soon as well. That's going to be called Stuck in the Middle with You, and that's going to be for all those middle stage evolutions that don't really get much love. Just the Battles is going to be coming back in a new revamped form known as From the Start, where we're going to be taking some of the fully evolved lines around the Johto game without evolving up from their base form. I think that's going to do wonders for Pokemon like Ampharos that had to start as a Mareep, and Starmie as well would do fantastically better, because we're going to have our full base stats from the very start of the run. And finally, we're going to have to be borrowing Bill's time capsule, because we're going to be jumping forward in time yet again to Generation 3. They're the future plans for the channel. Let me know which you're most excited about, and then I can prioritise that particular plan. In the meantime though, let's resume the action at Brock's Rock-type gym. He's of course a Rock-type specialist, and that is bad news bears for him, because we have Surf on our learn set, and that's guaranteed neutral against all of his Pokemon. It's 4 times weak against the rock ground Pokemon like Rhyhorn, but it doesn't matter to Starmie as it's all one-shot city. And after knocking out his Onix, we've defeated all of his Pokemon, and we obtain the Boulder Badge in a time of 1 hour 40 minutes and 58 seconds. Let's now start cycling down to Cinnabar Island. We have a little chat with 3Drill en route. 3Drill said there was somewhere tropical, you know, that he's heard of, where bees just don't seem to exist. So we'll do a little bit of scouting for him at some point, see if there's a business opportunity to sell his honey. In the meantime though, we're going to go over to Cinnabar Island, and we're going to start thinking about poor old Blaine. Not only has his gym burnt down at Cinnabar Island, we're coming in with a water-type Pokemon. That would have been handy a couple of years ago when it burnt down, wouldn't it? So we're just rubbing salt into the wound here. So I am so sorry for what's happening in front of you, Blaine. I do have to get your gym badge though, and I've only got a water-type on my team. So after dousing all of his very hot Pokemon, we get the Volcano badge in a time of 1:42.39, and now it's time for everyone's push over Janine. And Janine has it almost as bad as Blaine, you know. We are going in about 30 levels higher than some of her Pokemon, and she is weak to the Psychic type. I'm not that mean to Janine though, because I decide to use some Thunderbolts here and there just to show her that I'm not going to inflict too much damage on her Pokemon if we don't need to. I still Psychic the Weezing though for all those times they've poisoned me in the Rocket's hideout. And with that, we are through Janine in a time of 1 hour 43 minutes and 23 seconds. Let's now move on to our final gym leader, Blue. He's a mixed type specialist who leads with Pidgeot. We use an Ice Beam against the Pidgeot and we knock it out in one shot, and that brings us on to Executor. Ice Beam worked well in the first turn, so we might as well try it again and knock out the Executor in one, and our next Pokemon is Alakazam. We don't have anything too great for the Alakazam, but a couple of Surfs knocks it out, and here comes Gyarados. Gyarados is 4 times weak to Thunder, so we're able to take revenge for that one at the Lake of Rage, and the next Pokemon is Rhydon. Rhydon unfortunately is 4 times weak to Surf, so that goes down straight away, and then Arcanine has no luck either. It's a one-shot on that to knock it out, and we've got our final gym badge in a time of 1 hour 44 minutes and 24 seconds. And with that, we have all 16 gym badges acquired. It's been an absolute struggle at times, but Starmie has persevered its way through the game, and our reward of course is that final battle with Red at Mount Silver. I think it's very fair to say that we're not going to be getting anywhere near the top 10 with Starmie, but I'm really hoping for a sub 2 hour run. I think that would be fairly fitting for how much we struggled at the very beginning. So here is Red. He's our final battle of the run and he leads with Pikachu. And thank goodness we are nippy. We have 212 speed and that means that even at level 61 we're going to be outspeeding everything. Our trouble at the moment is we don't have the best attacking chops to take care of Red's fully evolved Pokemon. There are at least 10 levels higher than us. We're barely making a dent in the Snorlax and Body Slam one-shots us. Let's use our first 3 rare candies and get up to level 64. We're still going to outspeed the Pikachu and we're still going to one-shot it, so really we're only battling against 5 Pokemon instead of 6. We're now able to get Espeon into 2-shot range, and that means we're at full health for the Snorlax. Our best option though is to just try and get the freeze. That's what I keep on trying to do, and Body Slam is still hitting us very, very hard. We are barely chipping away at this Snorlax, and even with the critical hits, Body Slam still knocks us out on the very next turn, and we're going to use another 3 rare candies. We are now at level 67. Let's see how we get on. We one-shot the Pikachu, and we are on to Espeon. Espeon reflects, which is perfect for us because we have 4 special attacks. Snorlax comes out and we use an Ice Beam and we get a very, very lucky freeze. That means we can start spamming Psychic. We're hoping for a Spadef drop, but it doesn't happen. Snorlax defrosts altogether too late though, and we are on to Venusaur. Venusaur is weak to Psychic and wastes a turn by taking in Sunlight, and that means we have just 2 Pokemon left to go. We use Thunderbolt against the Blastoise to take it into the yellow as Surf barely tickles us. Another Thunderbolt knocks it out, and now I think it's a foregone conclusion. We just have Charizard left to go, we Surf it away in one shot, we grow to level 68 and we defeat Red in a time of 1 hour 48 minutes and 59 seconds. My goodness, that was a struggle at the start, but I was very impressed with Starmie, and a 38th place finish nestled in between Tauros and Stantler seems about right for Starmie, you know, especially considering that very tough beginning. That does push Victory Bell down into the page 2 drop zone, and there's no change on page 1. We still have Ursaring way out in the lead in 1st place, and we still have Blastoise in 10th place in the page 1 drop zone. Talking of the drop zone, Octillery has fallen through it and landed itself on page 3, heading it up in 51st place, and we still have poor old Shuckle down there in last in 64th place. But with that, we are done. So I'm going to say thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure as always. If you've enjoyed this run, then please do leave it a like. If you've got anything to say, leave it in the comments down below. If you want to see more runs just like this, then please do click subscribe. And until next time, I'll say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.